Hey guys, it's Jon Phillips, editorial director of Maximum PC and Maximum Tech. I'm going to show you 5 things I like most and 5 things I like least about the Motorola Xoom. Let's go. Okay, the first thing that I like as a killer feature is the lock screen. You can see right here it's got a big, huge digital clock and the lock icon itself. Let's hit that back. Come on, baby, let's go. It's got a lock icon, you grab it, you pull, sling it back, bam, unlocks. I like the interactive nature of the lock screen. Killer feature number 1. Okay, killer feature number 2, interactive live widgets. You just saw that CNN icon change, so the CNN news is constantly streaming in new news stories. I have my Twitter feed, that's being constantly updated. I got my calendar, I got the weather. You can add widgets to your heart's content, put them on 5 different screens, not anything you can do on iOS. The fact that you could have live, constantly updated information streaming on your Android desktop on the big screen, 10.1 inches. I like that about the Motorola Xoom. That's my second killer feature. Alright, my third killer feature for the Motorola Xoom is the browser. Always like the browser. I've said that before on a previous video. You got your tabs, but really what I like most about the browser is the find on page function. And so yeah, you could do this on the Safari browser in iOS on the iPad, but it's just so much easier on Honeycomb. And so we'll type for something really simple that should be easy to find. Tough to do upside down, but I'm just going to do is, and where's the S? There we go. And we're going to look for S's, or rather is's, and boom, you could find them. They're highlighted in green. You could search through. Super easy to find text on a page. So some you can do on the desktop quite easily, and now you can do it on a 10-inch screen just as easily. So I dig the find on page feature. That's killer feature number 4. Okay, another thing I really dig about the Motorola Xoom is that Google Voice support is infused throughout the whole machine. You got it right there. We're looking at the icon for the microphone. We're going to go to the browser to search by voice, and I'm just going to hit the search button, and then I'm going to hit the microphone icon, and then I'm going to speak. Maximum PC. Bam! Is that what I want? Yes, it is. Maximum PC. It's coming up. So basically, you could search anything with Google Voice. You could search on maps for destinations. You can search on page. You can do all your searches directly with verbal commands. Big benefit. Love it. Okay, now we come to number 5 on my list of the 5 most killer features for the Motorola Xoom is Movie Studio. Now, yeah, with iPad 2, it's true that you can get iMovie for that new platform, but you're going to have to pay for it. Whereas with Movie Studio, it's a free app. If you read my review, you know I don't like the fact that there's no real documentation for the app, but this is actually a pretty robust video editing app. You could shoot with the 5-megapixel rear camera on the Xoom, and then you can add lots of cool nifty things like titles. So those are some choices for title options. I'll get out of that. If you want to load, or rather, you could change the video effect for just that photo. You could even apply these effects like negative effect and sepia and gradient. Those could be applied to entire videos, and you can add transitions. So yeah, it's it's not a director or Final Cut or Premiere, but hey, it's free, and for within the context of the device, it's a really handy app to have right on your home screen. There it is, Movie Studio. I dig it. That's my 5th killer feature for the Motorola Xoom. Okay, so I showed you my list of the things I like most about the Motorola Xoom, but it's not perfect. I gave it a 9 out of 10. Did not give it a kick-ass award because it still does have a few problems, so let's walk you through that. So the first thing I want to show you is that there is a lack of optimized apps and widgets for Honeycomb. So let me just show you one example. I'll fire up Pinball Deluxe, It's coming up, and as you can see, it does not take up the whole screen. Also, there's no landscape mode. Basically, it is assuming that you are on an Android cell phone, a smartphone. So the developer community needs to get together and build out some apps optimized for the larger screen size and the essentially landscape orientation that the Zoom offers. So that's number one. Okay, the second thing that I do not like about the Motorola Zoom is that it currently does not support Flash. So as you can see, I found that alcohol sites generally have Flash animations to start with. So you come to Bacardi, it says the site requires Flash, go to Wild Turkey, boom, you don't even get a fun graphic, you're asked for at least Flash Player 8. And just to really prove out the point, you go to adobe.com for their Flash page, and you're asked to download the Flash Player. So Motorola decided that it was going to support Flash Player 10.2 because 10.1 performance is not strong on Android. That's all good and fair, but man, they really should have been launched with Flash. It's coming, but I would have liked to have seen it right now. Okay, the third frustrating faux pas about the Motorola Zoom takes the form of some hardware challenges. So there is a proprietary power adapter there, or rather power input. You cannot charge off of mini USB. It only charges off of the proprietary power plug. So that's sort of a drag. And the other thing is these little tiny volume controls. And so, you don't want to have to hunt around for a volume control to turn the sound up or down. They're just little tiny nubbins. You can barely even feel them. You can't tell where one begins, the other ends. Am I touching the side of the bezel? What's going on here? It's confusing, and it just needs a more sort of obvious way to adjust the volume. Okay, another thing that's sort of frustrating about the Zoom is its SD card support. So it ships with 32 gigabytes of storage. That's great. It's a large amount. Some could argue that it's too much. I wouldn't mind spending a little bit less money, getting 16 gigabytes, but there's only one SKU. It is 32 gigabytes, but everyone likes more storage, which is great. The problem is that it actually comes with an SD card slot, micro SD, right here. That's it. But the slot's not active yet. We have to wait for an over-the-air update to make the slot active. It would have been nice if that functionality was ready to go when the Zoom launched. So eventually you'll have up to 64 gigs of storage. Right now you're limited to 32. Support's on the way, not here yet. That's a drawback. Okay, and my final complaint about the Zoom is that there is no Wi-Fi only version. There's only one SKU at launch. You have to get it from Best Buy or Verizon, and you have to get a 3G version, and you have to pay for at least 1 month of 3G support, data download support from Verizon. I don't have any need for 3G on my tablets. If I really need data on the field and I'm not near a Wi-Fi spot, I'm just going to use my smartphone, which already has 3G. I'd rather spend a little bit less money, get a Wi-Fi only version. But right now there's only one SKU. It's got 32 gigs of storage, and it's got 3G, and you have to pay for 3G right off the bat. It's a drawback. Overall, it's still a killer device. It's worthy of its 9 verdict, but it's not without a few foibles and pitfalls.